Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, friend.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm just over here hoping I didn't break my laptop.
How many people you have online now?
It's just you and I. I thought I saw Rio here, but he disappeared. He may have stepped out of the room.
Oh, okay.
It's just you and I. Oh, Mr. Baptiste has arrived.
Mr. Baptist is alive? Really? You sure about that?
Mr. Baptiste is in the building.
Wow.
Good evening, Chair.
Wow.
Why is my view this way? I don't like it this way. Okay. Fred?
Hey. Did you send me Portia's cell number or her
Oh, no. Yeah, that's her cell.
718?
Yeah, she has a 718 cell phone number.
Oh, okay.
See. Okay, what is going on? Fred, where are you? Oh no. His mic his microphone isn't on. Oh yeah. Hold on. Oh, there he goes.
Here I am.
I'm like,
I am
hi.
so shocked. I am so shocked that you say he's alive because I call him and he don't answer the phone. I thought maybe he went to Haiti.
Oh God.
No, not quite. Not quite. Actually, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Oh, wow. Even
Yeah.
worse.
I know. Yeah, North Carolina is terrible. No, see, now you have me talking bad about North Carolina. I should.
That's not nice. Well, I'll only be offended if you talk bad about South Carolina. That's where my family's from.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe said she would have been like, wait a minute.
Oh,
Look at it. And Fran is in a field somewhere with sunsets.
Right.
I'm not enough. I'm changing that right now. It is nighttime now.
Ah, you're in outer space. Okay, there we go.
Very. I don't know. Real
Nighttime.
I keep admitting real, and it keeps getting bounced out.
Mr. Chair, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, so just checked up on Mom.
I miss you.
So miss you too. I miss you too.
Are you done?
Yes, I do.
How are your mom?
Good. Mom is okay. Mom is okay.
Where is she?
She's actually at downtown Brooklyn Rehab, so she's right on Classen Avenue, not too far on Park Place.
Okay, wonderful. And they're taking good care of her there, right?
They're taking care of her. You just don't bounce back the way you do at her age. So,
right.
Trying to just keep her in prayer, keep her motivated, saying it's gonna happen. She's gonna get better. So, day by day we get a little bit better.
As long as she have you on her side, she'll be better.
I'm hoping. Well, listen, as long as she has him on her side, that's what's gonna make her better.
Well, yeah, he's the number one, but the earthly one.
I just try and do what I can.
Hello, Alejandra.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How was your day?
Busy. It's been nonstop.
I can imagine.
Tell me about it. I was so busy, and I called Mia a while ago to get a number from her, and she told me about executive. I said, what executive are you talking about? Never know that we have executive meeting today. That went right over my head. And it's not that I didn't see the email come through, but I'm thinking of next week. I'm not thinking of this week.
Gotcha.
I don't want to write. If I didn't call her, it's a good thing. You would have been calling me and asked me, where are you? Oh, Warren. Francesca, where are you?
Told you.
Good thing I called Mia.
Where's the rest of the crew? Okay, dokie.
So I want to go to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying that I want to go
Fran, your
to.
connection is breaking up a little bit. Good evening, Miss Pinkerton.
My connection is breaking up.
Her audio isn't connected yet.
Is it Fred or Fran? Who's breaking up? Which connection is breaking up, Mia? Is it me or Fran? Okay, it might be
Hold on
me.
1 second.
Okay.
No, I have an issue with my I dropped my I was laughing with Fran right before she called me. I dropped my laptop all the way to the dining room table.
Ouch.
So
are you saying
I
that's
don't
my
know.
fault?
Hopefully, we don't have any issues, but I just got it.
Is it my fault that you dropped your laptop? You didn't hear me yet. No, Fred, I was saying that I want to go to Myrtle Beach for my birthday.
Nice.
Hold on 1
You know how
second, Fran. Do you hear? Can you guys hear Fran clearly?
I can
Or
hear
is it
Fran,
choppy?
yes.
Put up a
No,
finger if it's you can hear her clearly. Put up the number 1 because it's coming in choppy on my laptop. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Ooh, Fran.
Hold on. Hello. Good evening, Miss Pinkerton.
Hi.
Yeah.
Your email. I don't see a link, so I didn't join the other meeting. Can you tell me where it is? I'm looking at the email and I don't see it.
I never provided the link. The email itself was a forward from DCP. You had to click on their RSVP link and register,
Right.
and then they would email you the link to the meeting. Yeah, but
All right. So
it's not a
nobody ever
Stevie 9
emailed
event, so I
me.
don't have access to the credentials.
All right. I never received an email. I registered yesterday or the day before, and then I registered again when I first emailed you saying, hey, I don't have a link. So I don't know who's responding to it. So
DCP, but yeah, you definitely should have reached out like before 5, because I could have reached out to DCP.
no, I assumed like everything else, like they put the link in the email, and then I registered 2 days ago. So I just assumed that I had it. But
oh, gotcha.
Was it the city that's providing the answer? This is a city thing?
Yeah, city planning. DCP.
Oh, okay. Well.
The workshop.
Yeah, well, then they dropped the ball. That's for certain. All right, I'll let you carry on. Thanks.
Okay, welcome some new members into the room. Hey, Real. Hey, Warren.
But Warren's too good to talk, huh?
No, I don't think his mic isn't connected yet.
Oh no, I know. I'm just messing with him.
Oh, okay. His audio's connecting now.
Okay. Okay, who's Nino Brown?
I can't even make it up.
I guess he's his brother's keeper.
Hey, we have to be. Warren, you're good over there? I see your mic is on, but I don't see any sound coming out of it. Oh, it was 7:01. I was gonna say I was gonna try to finagle with my laptop really quick, but that'll have to wait.
No problem. Alejandra, quick question, only because we heard you might be you're a technology proficient person there. Is it possible to record votes on Zoom? Like if you set up a poll, can you get the vote? Can you do votes and actually get the results of the vote?
Yes. That may be possible, yeah, but I'm not sure if the plan supports it. You'd have to see, because there's like different tiers of Zoom that allow for like webinars and different things.
You can do polling though on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it before, so it's just something that we're looking at. It might be more efficient in terms of getting votes. We can talk about that offline then. So I just wanted to see if it was something you've heard of that might be possible.
Okay, Warren's back in the room. Thanks, Primo, for the info in the chat. Thank you. Warren, your mic is inactive.
I was noticing it was kind of quiet here.
Oh, Fred, I'll probably talk to you about this outside, but I'm going to be on medical leave again on October 22nd for 2 weeks. So I'll talk to you about it more in detail, but I'm going to have to miss that meeting.
No problem. Okay, just keep me posted and let me know what anything we can do to support. That's all.
Thanks.
Warren is having some sound issues. Let's just give it, I'm not sure if you want to give it another minute or two for folks to come in.
Yeah, sure, another minute or two and then we'll begin.
Got it.
Yeah, I believe we do have quorum. Yeah, I do believe we have quorum, so we could begin in a couple of minutes.
Oh gosh, what's that?
Good evening, Matthias. Good evening, Carmen. Good evening, Pat. What, no golf? No more golf, Pat?
Not today.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, Nino Brown.
Yeah, you saw it too, right? Mia, can you see anyone else trying to get in?
Hello? Right?
Yep, right here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Optimum Wi-Fi. It's horrible. I had to come off of the 5G and go to the regular.
Understood. Okay, is there anybody else in the waiting room?
No.
Okay. All right, so with that being said, let's begin the meeting. Calling the meeting to order. Time is now 7:08 p.m. So I want to welcome everyone to our first executive committee of the 2020-2021 year. Listen, it's been eventful. This year, 2020. I want to thank everyone for everything that we've done in that last year. And I'm asking everyone to continue to do the great work we're doing, and we're going to do even more. I'm really excited about this year. I think we've got so many talented people, and it's going to be something we need because we have a lot of issues that we're going to try and tackle. We're going to try and continue the momentum that we've started from last year, and at the same time, begin new initiatives to make sure that we're being responsive to community needs. So with that, what I would like to do is open the floor to the committee chairs and just do a quick round robin of introductions, just so that way, for everyone, if you haven't, met everyone else, or if you're not sure who's heading the other committees, we'll have an opportunity to kind of, just introduce each other for this year. And I would start with our second vice chair, Ms. Leopold.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's so good to see everybody once again in good spirit, good health. And once again, I would like to thank everybody for your votes and coming back. I'm coming back as the Chair for Health and Social Services. So I know that we have a lot to do, especially life after COVID. A lot is happening out there, and so I'm looking to, as soon as my team and we meet, we'll be having a working meeting next week, so we could plan for next month for our next meeting to see where we go from there, because there's a lot of work to be done in the community, and so we don't want to waste any time. We just want to hit the pavement and to get things going. I'm excited, as you Chair said, I'm excited. I think we have great things ahead of us. So just the most important thing is that we put our heads together and we take the bull by the horn and run it and ride it. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Fran. Alejandra.
Yes, so I chair two committees. I chair the Housing Committee. I'm in the process of reaching out to legal services orgs to host for our first meeting in October, an information session regarding right to counsel, as well as other tenant protections, given that October 1st, the moratorium is lifted unless there's any last minute extensions. And so, it's going to be quite a crazy year with housing, given that we're facing an eviction crisis. So I'm looking to stay active on the Housing Committee. In terms of the District Manager Committee, we have been extremely busy over the last month. We met again for the first time after the pandemic at the beginning of August, and we re-established our hiring plan that we set about in February and January of earlier this year. Over the last week, we met 3 times. We reviewed 75 resumes. We have an additional 25 we're going to review tomorrow. I believe that should hopefully be all of them, but if not, we may still have to do another meeting. Depending on how many we've gotten, we may do another few, but we may go ahead and start scheduling interviews in the interim, because the absolute cutoff date for any new resumes will be September 30th. And so it's going to be quite aggressive, but we're hoping to have a selection of finalists of 3 to 4 candidates by the end of October to have a special meeting of the community board dedicated to just meeting the final district manager candidates. And from there, the following community board meeting would be called, or we would vote on the particular district manager candidates. And so I'm really excited. We've got some really great folks that have applied. You know, we still got a lot more to review, and you know, we've got a pretty objective rubric where all 5 members review on a 0 to 5 scale. We put all the scores together, and that's how we're going by. So we're trying to be as objective as possible, and no one member has any more say than the others. And so, you know, I'm really excited. We're hoping to be able to have a district manager in place before the end of the year.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate all your work. Going down the list, I see Riel.
Good evening, everybody. And, thank you for having me. Pleasure to join once again. I was on mandatory hiatus for a while, but I'm back. Don't call it a comeback. I'm looking forward to doing some good work with the Education and Library Committee. Just starting to kind of shape my thoughts around it, but in a nutshell, I think everybody can agree that when it comes to education, and I think library probably fits well into that theme, access and equity is a big issue. As some of you may know, I run an after-school and summer camp program that has equity at its core. It's a very challenging topic, obviously, and especially in this time. And so we are currently battling the many needs that our families have as it relates to after-school programs and and childcare as kids start to return to school. And so this is right up my alley anyway, to have these kinds of conversations around what equity in education looks like and what the challenges are in our district. So I'm looking forward to starting to work. Thank you for having me, Fred.
Thank you so much for agreeing to chair. Welcome back. And I always appreciate a good old school hip hop quote.
I appreciate it.
Going down in no particular order, let's pick on the new guy, Primo.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks to everyone for who's on the call and for serving the community in so many wonderful ways. I'm excited to co-chair, along with Matthias, the Youth Services Committee this year. I served as a kind of volunteer community member of the Youth Services Committee last year. I saw us put together some pretty great work and do some really collaborative efforts for young people in the community. The Youth Services Committee usually focuses on putting together one event for the year, which is a big event, a career expo, and last year we also added a financial literacy event, which was really wonderful. The career expo was planned for April, of course, and couldn't take place because of COVID, but in this new COVID virtual reality, I think Matthias and I will be focusing on finding virtual ways for our students to, young people in the community, to be able to be engaged when it comes to, similar to what Riel was pointing out, after school career opportunities, so they can continue to grow and to learn in this environment. One other thing that we did last year was try to organize for the community to advocate for the remaining kind of funding for SYEP. And so that was a good use of our time after COVID struck. But I'm here to learn from Matthias, to learn from all of you, and hopefully to partner with Riel and the Education Committee as well. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Primo. Welcome aboard. And for your co-chair, I'd also like to co-chair to say a few words. Matthias?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Matthias Limburger, co-chairing this year with Primo, as you just mentioned. Some of the initiatives we've put forward in the past, we'll continue kind of building those out, developing those initiatives, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been here for years, but it's a quote. Yeah, co-chairman. You know, Primo he's really impressed everybody with his efforts for the committee, and I think he's going to do a great job. I'm going to defer mostly to him, but we'll be a team, and you know, I think we're going to do some great work together. So that's it for me.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Takes two to make a thing go right, right? We're doing quotes, so.
Oh, there we go. You guys are on the ball tonight, huh? Pat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Pat Moses. I'm returning chair for the ULUP Land Uses Committee. And hopefully we'll have our first meeting in October on a Monday. I need to set that up. Everything kind of like was put on hold because of because of the virus and everything. But evidently there's still things that are going on in the community. So we still need to meet and be prepared for, what's going to come down once everything starts to be approved. So that's what we're planning to do. That's it.
Thank you so much, and welcome back. Carmen.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Carmen Martinez. Happy to see some new people as part of co-chairing or even chairing the new committee. We always like to have fresh eyes, fresh ears, fresh ideas. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy to be returning as chair of the Transportation Committee because there were so many town halls and so many outreach that we have planned for the community that were disrupted due to the pandemic. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of months, although we are not having, personal meetings, but at least to have some virtual town halls throughout, to have the community members give input and also to enlighten them to what's been going on since we have last met. I know that we will be the renaming of the President Street train station to Mega Evers, which is something that the board have pushed for. I don't think we got any credit when the announcement came out.
No.
But the board historically has pushed for that station, and even Franklin Avenue, I think, was another one that we have suggested to be named after Mega Everest. So I'm happy to see that our elected officials have pushed that forward. Additionally, for those of you that may be new to the board, I know the Department of Transportation seems to be moving forward with the Club Road Plaza project. And we also didn't seem to have gotten any credit for that, but the board has submitted proposals for exactly what they are planning for the plaza and had even secured funding through Lori Combo for that project. So now that we are back in meeting mode, I will be engaging in communication with DOT, with Councilmember Combo and even Matthew Eugene to see how we can get them to maybe add additional funding, because even after the plaza comes through, there's going to be the issue of maintaining, the benches, the tables. It's a lot of stuff that we have to put into place that funding will be necessary for. So that's one of the items that we need to be able, that is included in our need assessment for the coming budget year. Just basically working on transportation issues. MTA, got to revisit the Utica Avenue project, see what's going on. The Empire reconstruction project is moving on despite COVID. So it looks like it's going to be it's going to be completed timely. I know they're doing the sewer work over here on my end on Empire in Washington. They've been digging up and redoing the sewer, which is part of the project. So in January, they will be working on the plaza. So it seems like a lot of the projects that have been in the making for a while are just coming to fruition. So we just got to make sure that Board 9 stays on top of it, and that all of the committees stay on top of all of the other issues to make sure that that we deliver for the community, the district, and the residents of District 9. So happy to see everyone. Glad that everybody's safe, and hope that we will have a very, very, very productive year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you for your service, and looking forward to all the great work from the committee.
Thank you, Fred.
All right, I think that's all the committee chairs I see currently. But Warren, are you on the line? Warren is quiet. That doesn't happen often.
Warren, wake up.
No, I was having dinner.
Oh, okay.
Who say you could eat? Who say you could eat? We're not eating.
I just got off a call with H&H, and I was just listening to all this good stuff going on. Did you have a question, Fred?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I know that we had the committee chairs go through, and I know we had a couple of the executive committee members who are doing double duty. They introduced themselves. Just want to give you an opportunity to just say a couple of words if you wanted to.
Okay. I think we're in a very special position at this point. For the first time since I've been on the board, which has been since like I think 1940. We have a board that's actionable, and we do not have any divisions. So there are so many things facing our community, whether it's healthcare, COVID, violence, money insecurity, housing insecurity, and food insecurity, that I think with this current mosaic of chairs, that we should all focus on what we can do and pick a project and move forward on it, because everyone needs help at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Warren. And again, I think just to kind of dovetail on some of the things I've heard, this is exactly what I'm excited about. I think we have a fantastic mix of talent, knowledge, of people who've been working on projects. I think there's a lot of things that one of the issues we've had is with continuity. I think that because of some of the people who are here and who are acting as chairs, we're going to be able to do that, some of that in terms of maintaining momentum, picking up on things that we've already started on as a board and making sure we're continuing to hold the ball with that one. I think it was said before about the energy we have, fresh energy. I think when we look at our committees and the people that we, between new members and residents in the community, I think we have a lot of great talent out there and a lot of people who have come to the board fresh, ready to do some work. And also I asked my chairs, to definitely think about those things we want to do better. We're going to be, budget conversations are going to be happening very quickly. So one of the things that we're going to be doing, or I'll be asking for you to do, is to definitely start getting those ideas together in terms of the things you want to see done, that the community is asking to see done, and continue, and really refine those questions so that we're all able to come with specific asks in every place possible with dollar amounts that are attached to it. I've had conversations with the district office. So in terms of, to the best of our ability, we're going to try and come up with histories of these things to see what things we've been working on for years, what things are brand new, and to see what we need to do to push those initiatives along. So we're really going to be hitting this very, very hard. I think it's been mentioned that most of the committees are going to be meeting in October for the first time, which makes more sense. I think that, looking holistically at the way we've operated as a board, and typically we've come into an issue where there's a lot of religious observances that happen in the month of September, and we always want to be respectful of and knowledgeable of what's going on in the community. So it didn't make sense to force meetings in September. but rather take the time for the committee chairs to just really get set, get in place, start thinking about what they want to do, have that outreach with their committees, and be ready to hit the ground running when October comes. So this is great, and it's according to the plan, the design that we would like to see. And with regards to those meetings, those will be virtual meetings. I will talk about a little bit later, but just because I know that the numbers are saying it's getting better. But at the same time, the one thing we also see is that we have hotspots, we have schools where you're seeing outbreaks. And the one thing we want to make sure we're doing is we keep our community safe, and we keep our members safe. So the commitment right now is to continue with virtual meetings through 2020. Obviously, this will also depend on the way the state is moving. We're enabled to do this because of the governor's executive orders, which currently have been extended through October. So we know that definitely through October at least, we'll continue with virtual, or we have the ability to go virtual. But until told otherwise, my commitment is that we will continue to keep everyone safe, meet virtually, and continue to do the work that we started. But again, I think, and as we talk about that, I also want us to even think further on where, we look at what a CV9 of the future looks like. I think that using tools like Zoom or WebEx have been very helpful. We've been able to stay productive. We've been able to bring people in ways we have not done before. So we're definitely looking for fresh ideas in terms of how do we continue, how do we proceed. But again, I'm really excited about all of the chairs who are here tonight. I'm excited about our leadership. We just set it out. We have a lot of work to do. But I thank you in advance for everything you're doing and all the energy you're going to be putting forward. So with that said, I want to move on to our next item on the agenda, the CV9 Office Administrative Check-in. Mia, could you just share any initiatives or any updates with the team, please?
I sure can. Can you hear me? I feel like I'm over here being a victim of Optimum's monopoly on the community. I'm like watching you guys in slow motion, like. So I apologize for any choppy audio in advance. Just a few status updates. As you guys know, Khalid and I are in the office to handle administrative duties. So chairs, if you need anything, give us a heads up, email us, contact us, let us know. We are available remotely. The laptop rings with the CB9 phone is connected to our laptop. So you guys, between 9 and 5, you can definitely reach out. The purchase office equipment and furniture has been arrived and is in place. We're currently awaiting a decash destroy order for all of our old items. With regard to the website, we're currently waiting to hear from Do It. As of their last assessment of our new website, there were some accessibility recommendations that we have to complete before we're able to launch. So once we're able to finalize and accommodate those requested changes, we can go live. Yesterday was the first day of budget consultations. We heard from DYCD, DFTA, and a host of other city agencies. I wanted to highlight a bright spot from DYCD. So according to DYCD, if the health climate continues to improve, they will be able to restore SYEP to full capacity, which is 70,000 participants. Due to COVID and the Learning Bridges program, out of 137,000 applicants this summer, they were only able to employ 35,000. And additionally, with DFTA, they're going to be allocating resources to combat pandemic isolation for seniors. They've launched a friendly visitor program, which anyone can volunteer to kind of check in on a senior in the neighborhood and kind of keep an open line of communication to combat pandemic isolation. And additionally, for the budget, I guess that leads me to the statement of community district needs and budget requests. Our annual submission is due October 30th. So we will be conducting a public hearing ahead of the general board meeting on October 26th. I ran an idea past Fred and Warren, and hopefully the other chairs can have some input. We usually take a lot of criticism because the community says they're not aware, not sure what their level of participation or inclusion is in the whole process. I thought it would be a good idea to perhaps create a web form and circulate the link to last year's submission to solicit input from the general public, but also additionally from the board members. And then probably maybe a week ahead of the October general board meeting, have released a locked draft to the board members to solicit any final input so that we can use the public hearing to our advantage to just highlight points of interest, take any additional solicit any additional ideas, or expound on something that's already in place. So that's something I wanted to run by you all to see what you thought of this. And also, Kalita and I, along with Francisca, for the past few Fridays have been, we set up a resource table in front of the CB9 office. We've been passing out Census 2020 info, voter registration forms, general community board information that kind of relays what a community board is, what their role is in city government, and additionally the CB9 brochure that highlights the board membership, outlines what each committee is responsible for. And I will be out again this Friday, right, Francisca? Yeah,
Yes,
that's about it for
yes,
now.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so what we've done is set up the table to kind of coincide with the foot traffic from Assemblywoman Diana Richardson's food giveaway, which is held at Crown Gardens every Friday. So we pick up the extra foot traffic, and we're able to, I think at this point, it's been about over 400 or 500, bags that we've given away. What we've done is stuff the lit into the sanitation bags, the giveaway bags. We've also had a donation from Emblem Health, which they gave us bags and little small giveaways to kind of grab people's attention and get them over to the table, as well as our initial donation from the Brooklyn Museum, where they gave us children's art sets that kind of help flag people down and get them to the table so we can get some info to them.
May I add something, Ms. Hilton?
Yes.
In addition to that, for this Friday, because we have run out of items to give out, there's a gentleman who gave us a handful of school supplies, that people were asking for school supplies.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Councilman Matthew Eugene to see if we could get some sort of donation from him. So I don't know if anybody on the line would be able to, I have been asking around. Mia was supposed to get some masks because we were running out of masks as well. So Mia was supposed to talk to Jamila from the mayor's office, but I spoke to her today.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to Jamila from the mayor's office today. And then she said there's a lady she's working with to get some masks for us. So if you can, hopefully we can get some more masks to give out. And I'll call the councilman to see.
Oh yes, I forgot to highlight that point as well. We've given out close to over 700-800 masks because I believe for each packet that we've handed out, we provided people who just wanted or just passed by the table and the masks that they had were just in a terrible state, and we handed out to people in need. So
yeah, so we should be getting some masks by Friday, and then maybe some backpacks or some loose school supplies, hopefully. So if anybody online on the Zoom with us right now, you have any connections that you can get some stuff for us, we will greatly appreciate it.
I have a
We could
question.
probably get you 200 masks if you wanted them. And you can literally pick them up from my building if you want to, but you let me know if that's something that's attractive to you, I have some
Oh,
apps available.
Definitely, definitely. Every bit counts. Definitely.
Thank you. Carmen?
No, I have a question with regard to the constituents that you all have been interacting with. Have you guys gotten those people's contact information in terms of name, even if it's name and phone number, to add them to the listserv so that they can also continue to get information about the meetings and getting them involved in CB9's activities?
Yeah, we've
Yes.
we've had to put them out 5 at a time, 5 at a time. So yes, we've been signing in the constituents. Even though we have a lot of seniors stop by, just because that's like the larger population that frequents Diana's food giveaway. There are younger constituents who are more readily provide email addresses instead of phone numbers, just name and phone number.
Okay. Now I'm just saying, just try to capture those emails, because you do want to increase the listserv. Well, one other thing, and I don't know how agreeable you may be to it, because I know yesterday I met with my block association, and one of the things that we want to do, of course, before September 30th, because Western Beef is at the end of our block. So one of the things that we are looking to do is to set a table by our Western Beef to capture the shoppers going in and out, to get them to do the census, voter registration, as well as absentee ballot applications. So you might want to consider associated and those areas that are heavily where there's heavy foot traffic, and try to get
I think that's a good idea.
the census and the voter registration. And if you need me, just let me know, and I'll be happy to assist in manning those tables. But just food for thought, because we figure there's so many people that go in and out of Western Beef that are probably not registered, or probably have not even done the census, and it will be a good opportunity to get there, to complete the census and register to vote.
What date are you doing those? What days?
We're probably going to do it not this Saturday, but next Saturday, because I need to go get a supply. I have some voter registration form and absentee ballot applications. So next Saturday during the day, because the evening is kind of difficult. I don't get home until after 6 o'clock. But figure Saturday, like from 12 to 4, 12 to 3, something like that, when the people are doing most of their shopping.
Oh, that's great. If you could just send a note to me and myself, I think this would be something. And if the block association is amenable to it, maybe we can make this a collaboration where it's like we can invite board members and others as well. And I think it's a great idea to do the supermarkets, and maybe we pick a couple. We can do Western Beef, do Associated, and we can split the team a little bit. But I think it's a great way to actually get out of the community.
No, I would love that, because that way they'll get information about the board as well. Get them in to come to at least virtually for now, participate in the meeting. But yeah, I'll connect with Mia and Khalid, and we'll come up with a schedule.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
I'm like my audio is really bad, and I keep freezing.
Are you using the computer audio or the dial-in? Mia, are you using the computer audio or did you dial in? Because that sometimes helps. I don't do I think it might take up extra bandwidth doing the audio too, so sometimes just do the video and then just call in.
It should be a part of the conversation.
Amy, you still there?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? I think
I'm going to leave and come back in.
Yeah, just try and use the dial-in. See if you can call in. You might, just turn off your audio on one and just speak on the other. Pat's got to go fight a fire. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for me to jump in, I'll tell you what. Let's go. There's a lot of good information that was placed there. Another thing I just wanted to highlight very quickly as well, with regards to the district office. In the same vein as I was discussing with regards to, we were going to be virtual. The district office is going to stay closed. And when I say closed, it's with respect to the public cannot just have access to walk in. We're not taking walk-ins. It's by appointment only. So it's like we're going to try and do our best to put as much materials up the front. So those things, people just need to see something or know something. We're going to get that set up. We've already bought the LCD screens. So right now, Mia is having a conversation to get those installed. So all those things will be just like the kiosks. All the information will just flash through. So those things that you just need to see, you can see that outside. For those who need to actually speak to someone, they can still have access. They can call, or if they need to do it, they can set it up by appointment only. The main thing, we just want to make sure that the staff is safe. And, it's in a control setting where people can come in, but at the same time, the staff is in a position where they're okay. So they're, they can go home to their families and feel secure. All right. So with that being said, let me go on into my chairman's report, my check-in. And when Mia comes back in, if there's anything else she needs to add, she can do that as well.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I had this. I guess I'm signed in twice as CB staff, me and CB staff host. My audio has just been horrible. I don't know what's going on, but it may the fact that I dropped my laptop right before the meeting started may have something to do with it. But I'm back.
Perfect.
Just my,
yeah. Did you have any items? Did you have any more items for administrative report?
No, I think that the most important thing that we need to highlight and that the chairs need to make a part of at least their initial agenda is the committee contribution to the community district statement needs and budget requests.
Mia, a question. Is it possible for the chairs to get their section of the need assessment?
Oh yes, definitely. I can break the scans down.
Yeah.
Committee and then provide them to the chairs. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Will do.
Okay. All right. Okay. So going into my my meeting notes for the so we've already done the committee assignment. So everyone has gotten the chairs have all been notified. You should have all gotten your listing of your committee members along with their contact. Is that accurate? Everybody has their information?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So absolutely encourage you reaching out to your committees, introduce yourselves. Now, the only caution I have is we want to make sure that we're always cognizant of open meetings laws. So if you want to send emails, if you want to send texts, if you want to send notes, that's fine. But be very careful in terms of don't set up conference calls because that sets off the open meetings law where those are considered meetings where you're discussing business and those have to be open. And that means we have to do things like we have to set agenda. Well, we have to publicize the fact that the meeting's being held, what links you're using, and the public has to have access. So definitely utilize the time to communicate, get your ideas out. If there's anything that you need to get from them, if you need to coordinate schedules, absolutely. But be careful about discussing business on a line where everyone is on because that technically is a violation. So we just want to make sure that everybody's clear with regards to that. So the initial assignments are typically done by the chair. I was very thankful for the support of the executive committee in terms of they were able to vet those recommendations. So the committees are established. With that being said, you as the chairs are also empowered. If you find talent out there that you think are going to be helpful to the running of your committees, please feel free to invite people to join as well. So you have the option. You can expand your committees as well as you see fit. You can make sure they're added. The only thing you'll do is just make sure you let the district office know that this member is being out, you want to add this member, same as we've done with everyone else. The only thing we'll require they do is actually just submit that online application, so that way we have all their information on file as well, and then we'll make sure we note that the roster, they're added to the roster. So again, so the committees, we're not doing them, we're not requiring that they meet in September. They will be required to meet in October, and per the bylaws, one of the first things you'll do is establish an agenda for the year. Now, this doesn't mean that you're locked into these are the 4 or 5 things you have to do, but at the very least, it should serve as a guideline in terms of these are the things that we really want to concentrate on. As things come up, committees absolutely have the opportunity to expand the agenda or alter it as you need to. And again, we want to make sure that, one of the first things you're going to start talking about is the budget in terms of what resources do you want to see in the community. And on the last point with regards to the committees, so last year we really started keeping track, or tried to keep better track of attendance with regards to the board. We were a little bit looser with that with regards to committees. This year, we are going to make sure that everyone who has signed up for a committee, make sure your members attend that committee and understand that that's the expectation. In past years, I know we've had people assigned to 3, 4 committees, and I knew that was just a recipe for burnout. So one of the things that we set out as an executive team to do is kind of, ease some of the burden in terms of you have one committee that you're assigned to, that you're responsible for, but we want to make sure everybody understands that's the committee you're responsible to. So as chairs, please make sure if you see that there is not attendance, make sure you're noting that, make sure you're working with the district office and myself. And you know what, if there's dead weight, we'll get it off your team. But the one thing I don't want to happen is that you can't have quorum because you have people who are not shirking their responsibilities and not coming to committee. All right, and again, so that's data that we're going to be tracking in the district office. And when Borough Hall, because they do ask for attendance records, especially when we're doing reappointments, we want to make sure that we can say, yes, this member has attended, has faithfully attended all their meetings, including committee meetings as well. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, did you have a question, Pat?
Yes. So I've never set up a Zoom meeting with the board. How is that done?
Glad you asked.
Do it ourselves or what happens there?
No, actually, and I'm glad you said that. So with regards to that, this is something that we're also going to institute as policy for the board. Chairs do not need to set up a Zoom, so you don't have to go get a Zoom account or a WebEx account to do it. All you need to do is work with the district office, give them the dates that you want to have your meetings. They will provide the resources. So we have a Zoom account that we're currently using that's run and operated by the board. We also have access to a WebEx account. So that is another option. So we can have 2 meetings in a day, in an evening. But the thing is, they have to be, whatever the meetings are, they have to be on the board's resources. Twofold. One, I don't want to put anybody through the hassle of having to pay for their own Zooms or their own, teleconferencing. And the other part of it too is we need to make sure that we keep these, most of these meetings need to be recorded. So it's just easier for us to make sure we have it and we have ready access to it through the board. The district office will set up all the logistics for you. All you need to let them know is when you're planning to have it, submit your agenda.
So someone from the district office will always be there?
Yes,
have our
correct.
meetings, to let them
Correct.
know? Got it.
Yes, they will set it, they'll run it for you.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right. Oh, no, absolutely, thank you. So meeting forums, I think we discussed this very quickly. So yeah, virtual for the rest of the year, rest of 2020. Again, it's going to be dependent on the extensions of the governor's order, Executive Order 202. We're only going to use the TV9 Zoom and the WebEx. And the last piece, and if anybody has questions about that as well, the other reason why is just, and it's pretty simple and straightforward, is that we don't have access to a lot of forums, a lot of venues. So we've already tried to reach out to schedule MS61 in advance, as we usually do. So they've already said they're not taking public, they're not accepting public outside entities right now. And it's the same with, I was confused if it's Crown or Carroll Gardens, but across the street from us, they're not doing it as well. And it's the same story going around. So just make sure you set that expectation. If anybody wants to know why aren't we doing this or why can't we do it, that's the main reason. And again, it's like we're really trying to limit traffic in the district office as well. So really, it's probably better that we just stay virtual for the rest of the year. Now, one thing that we wanted to do, so we're still in the process of setting it up, but we are going to do virtual trainings for the board. So that is going to be set up. That's going to be it'll be virtual. It'll be virtual. We'll set up a Zoom teleconference. It'll probably be mid-October. I asked Mia to check the dates to see if there are any dates where we want to make sure there's no conflicts with religious observances. It'll probably be mid-October. So all we're requiring, it'll be open to the public as well, but we're making it mandatory for all board members. And we're going to ask you to save the date, so that'll go out shortly. Modules that we're currently looking at doing right now. We're looking at doing a ULURP module, so there'll be a land review, land use process review. So board members will be, will understand how that works. The budget process, so we're going to make sure we do a full overview so members understand the budget process, what's required. So hopefully this will be very informative. And the budget really runs, it's a year-round process. And we're actually in the middle of two processes at one point, where we're closing out one year, but at the same time we're starting another. But we want to make sure that all board members kind of get that, that high-level picture of how that budget process works. We're also looking at a parliamentary procedure refresher, just so that way everyone understands, what the rules are, how do we make motions, and how we basically conduct ourselves as a board. We also want to do a bylaws review, where basically everyone has an understanding of the different elements of the bylaws, what we're required to do, and other sections that govern how we behave as a board. We're also going to have a quick conversation with regards to open meetings law, because I know this is frequently a topic that comes up. So I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page and has understanding of what we're required to do and how we respond as the board to open meetings law and FOIL requests and things of that nature. And the last piece we have is conflict of interest. We have over 40 members who are out there and we're doing different things. Sometimes we're gravitating to things because we have an interest or we're already in spaces, but we also want to make sure that board members know what to do if there's an interest that you might potentially have a conflict, just to make sure that board members don't get into any trouble. So that'll be a review that we'll have as well. So now those are the ones that are proposed, so we're going to set that up. That's not exactly set in stone, and if members have an idea that they would like to see or there's information you would like to have provided, please feel free to reach out myself or to the district office and say, listen, I would definitely like to see if there's training that we can do on whatever the topic is. And we'll see if either we can include it as part of that session, or, you know what, I think in a lot of other places I've been, they do what they call professional development. So you know what, training is something that we can do year-wide. And we can make sure we give opportunities for board members to understand better, so we can have better board members and better stewards for the community. Any questions with regards to that so far?
No, but I have another question.
Sure.
Is it possible for the entire board to at least get a listing of who the chairpersons are?
You know what, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think they would need to know like who are the chairs of which committees.
Absolutely. Mia, would you be able to compile that and send that out to the whole board?
Yeah.
All right. Actually, you know what? And just because you said that, I'm happy you said that as well. Here's what we'll commit to doing. So we will send a list of all the committee chairs, so everyone understands. We're going to forward a copy of the meeting schedule for the year. So we're going to forward a copy of the meeting schedule for the year. Last year I tried it. I'm going to see if we can duplicate it, where we can actually create a calendar item where you can just send it out. You can upload it from your phone. All the meetings for the rest of the year will be on your phones, or whatever device you use to actually track your calendar. But I think, that's something that's very helpful. I've also had a suggestion of Rio. Thank you. I see you, see the thumbs up. It's definitely something we've been thinking about. We'll try and duplicate that this year, so that way we have it, so everyone will have the meeting schedule in advance.
Right.
Okay,
and since you're on that subject, for Mia,
yes.
You just got to make a correction on your schedule for the year for board members. I think like you're supposed to have in 2021, you have 2020 all the way up until January of next year. So you might need to make a correction on that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. Moses.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Okay, all right. Search committee, I mean, what is there to say? Oh, yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is concerning the meeting. So for me, I'm supposed to have a working meeting on the 24th, I think, of this month. But I'm supposed to be having a meeting before next month with my committee. So you are saying that it should be an open meeting, anybody could come in. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, because if you have the quorum, if you have more than half of your members on there, technically it's a meeting, especially if you're going to discuss business. That's considered a meeting by open meetings law.
Okay.
And Fred,
Okay, so then, so I'm happy you said so also for the Zoom meeting. So I like the Zoom, so because I think previously I had used my Zoom. So going forward, it will be the office Zoom that I have for you. So I'm happy that you.
Exactly. And I would encourage the chairs to develop an annual schedule, because it's just better for everybody in terms of scheduling. So that way you know what your dates are, and everybody has it in advance. They can make it priority, so that way you can, you know, hopefully keep the attendance rate up if everybody has their schedules in advance. So when you come up with a tentative calendar, please just share that with Mia, and she can confirm whether, yeah, you guys are open for the dates, or if she can, you know, kind of quarterback that and say, oh, there's conflicts for that, and she can have conversations with you to make sure it's scheduled and we can provide, you know, the support you need.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Fred.
All right, search. Oh, I'm sorry, who had a question?
Yeah, and any of the trainings that you mentioned, is there anything, any guidance as to how, to deal, as far as meetings are concerned, with committee members versus members of the public? Or is that something that we can talk about offline?
You know what, actually, and that is one of the things with regards to, yes, the answer is yes. I'm trying to figure out the way we discuss that. But yeah, I do want to talk, I do want the chairs to basically understand in terms of the requirements for your meetings are, meetings of the committees do run just like the general board meeting. So you still have the same requirements in terms of you have to have notice, you got to let, it has to be publicized, you're going to be using the community board resources. You're using parliamentary procedure. The expectation, and I'm glad, let's have that conversation as well. So the expectation is I really kind of push people to come to the committee meetings to flesh out things. Because when we have our full board meetings, we're only there for an hour and a half to 2 hours, trying to keep it down to that. So it's not possible for us to try and tackle every issue or have full-throated conversations on every issue at a board meeting, and it's not appropriate. So what does that mean? It means that if you have a topic, we're asking them to push to the appropriate committee. And if we're asking for that to happen, that means that there's going to be some level of public participation we're going to ask you to have. With that being said, as the chair of your committee, you run your committee. And, all the questions go through you. You can either decide to commit just specifically a public portion of the meeting. You can say maybe 10 to 15 minutes of public commentary. Or at your discretion, you can say, you know what, the public, I don't have to have a public commentary session, but whoever's there has to understand that they can only speak when you recognize them as the chair. All right, so does that make sense? And what I'll do is I'll work on developing guidance for that, so that way, you don't have to remember this conversation, but we'll send it to you so that way you'll have that as a reference. So for all your meetings, you can say, you'll have something to refer to.
But you know what's wonderful? It's wonderful we can mute people now. We don't want them to talk. We can mute them. I love that.
Absolutely.
Is that why you're muting me?
You haven't been muted, Ms. Williams.
Is that why you're muting me? I came on late. You don't want me to talk. You don't want me to say good evening. Is that why you're muting me? I love you for that.
Well,
you've not been on mute. You've been open all this time.
No.
Who can stop you from talking, Ms. Williams?
I am just joking because I'm so quiet. I wanted you to know that I'm here.
Understood. And we're happy you're here, Ms. I'm looking at one, Ms. Williams. I'm sorry.
That was just to see who would ignore me, but you see no one ignore me.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay.
I'm sorry I missed the meeting earlier. I had a medical.
No, not a problem, Ms. Williams. Just happy you're here now. We had a number of things, just mainly housekeeping items. We'll catch you up on that later on. All right, I'm sorry, just looking at the chat. Okay, Ms. Pinkerton, we'll get to you as well. So I definitely know that you had a couple of questions you want to bring up, so we'll make sure we recognize you in a little bit. Okay, all right. Search committee was the next item I had. I think Alejandro, you've already kind of mentioned everything that really needs to be said about that. Again, I definitely want to thank you for all the hard work you've already put into this. And this is really stemming from the conversation where we said that, listen, we've looked at some of the efforts in the past. I think there are a lot of lessons learned, and I'm really happy with the way that the committee is approaching this. One of the things that, I definitely wanted to see out of the committee as well is, and I'm happy that you've done it, is that we're not having conversations in the open about people's personal information that shouldn't be out there prematurely. So I think, one of the things that you've done is you've numbered the resumes so you can discuss them appropriately, but at the same time provide the amount of anonymity that needs to happen as well. And especially because I think in the past, one of the things that wasn't so good is that we're talking about people's qualifications or personal information at times where maybe it's not appropriate. In no other place in city government do I see that we discuss, well, listen, so-and-so, these 5 people are applying for a job, and basically telling their bosses, by the way, somebody's not happy at their job. At the appropriate time, we can make the information public, but at the same time, we have ways of having conversations without putting people's information out when it's not necessary. But I'm really happy to hear that you really pushed forward. From the first meeting I saw, I know that we were a little bit slow, but we really, really dug in. I mean, to have already gone through as many resumes as you've had has been phenomenal. And, I'm just, very pleased with the process and looking forward to actually being able to hire a DM. And I appreciate all your work. Thank you so much. Next point I wanted to discuss, and I think we've really kind of gone through this. With regards to the district's office, just a couple points. So again, it's going to remain closed through 2020. Access to the office is going to be by appointment only. With regards to the physical space itself, this is an update. So the lease actually, and Mia, please jump in if I go off the rails, was set to expire. It has already expired. But we've already had a conversation with DCAS, that's the Department of Citywide Administrative Services. So they're going ahead with the process. If it hasn't been done already, it will be done soon, where we're extending our current lease in our location. But one of the conversations we are having with DCAS is if there's another location that might be more suitable to what we need as a board. We've had some issues with the physical plant in the past. We've had leaks, we've had floods, we've had issues, we've had bugs. As a board, we're growing, and even in terms of the space, we're looking for opportunities to be able to do more things in our physical office. So we are looking at to see what options we may have in the community. Not necessarily to say that we would move, but it's something to see that if we have spaces that are perhaps more conducive to what we would be able, and help us as a board grow and do more things. But Mia has been spearheading that, so she'll provide updates as she goes along as well. And I think the last piece I had, and I think we touched on that. So one of the things I want to make sure is that as a board, we're kind of, connected to the schedules of the meetings. One of the commitments we're making, again, like I said, I think we're going to try and start, and I want to say, as you're talking to your committees and we're talking to the board, let's make sure that we're going to try and do our best to start on time. I want to try and make sure that we do our best to stick to the agenda, to give it the amount of time we need to, but to make sure that we get to our agenda for the night. A typical meeting should run approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if we start at 7, I'm trying to see if we can get us off by 9 o'clock. As I say that, I also want to make sure that we also understand that there are going to be nights that some nights are a little bit heavier than others. I just need to make sure that everyone also understands that we need people to stay committed and stay on the line as long as we can to make sure we finish our agenda. Like, for example, if we have public hearings we need to have, it may mean that we may need to run a little longer. I need to make sure that for those instances, we'll try and keep the agenda as light as possible. So I need for people to stay on the line. All right, are there any questions so far with regards to anything that I've stated?
Not particularly in connection with what you've just said, but a concern that I have that many a times when it comes to the scheduling, and it's something that have been happening for a long time, that even when it comes to scheduling meetings and with the holidays that comes up and different things that needs to be done, and then we will reschedule to accommodate people, and then even after you schedule to accommodate people, they still don't come to the meetings. And it's kind of disrespectful, I find, because if meetings or whatever programs that the board needs to do, and then you're taking the time to reschedule to accommodate you, and then when the time comes, you don't show up. So it shows like, I just feel that it's been very disrespectful. That's my take on. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, you know, in terms of it, that's part of the reason why I want to make sure it's a conversation up front. And that's why I want to make sure we're doing things in advance to make sure everybody understands. So our meetings are typically the 4th Tuesdays of the month. So I'm asking for board members to make sure you're available the 4th Tuesdays of the month. Now, with that being said, life happens. I get it. And you know what? If you have a priority or something you absolutely can't avoid, that's fine. I mean, I think that's acceptable. If you have a life emergency every month, then perhaps maybe now is not the time for you to be on the board. You have other priorities you need to take care of. And that's fair. I think that's a conversation that happens. The only thing I ask for, and you know, like I said, I think we work with each other in terms of as a board, as administration, as the leadership, as the executive committee, we put out all the information you need so that way you understand what you need to do, when you need to do it. We'll try and be respectful of everyone's time. But again, we're keeping track. So if you're missing a number of meetings, then we have to have a conversation. But again, but at the same time, I always encourage everyone to listen. If there's a problem going on, if you have something you're taking care of or something that's going on, absolutely, I want to be respectful of that, and we'll work we'll work with people to the best of our abilities. But communication, and I think it comes down to that, Fran. Communication. As long as we are talking, and as long as we're respectful of each other, I think we'll be able to make it.
Thank you.
Were there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, and let me just check my here. Okay, so we're going to go and set the agenda. The next item is 5, set the agenda for the general board meeting. All right, so with regards to the board meeting, we are going to have the roll call. Hold on, let's just make the notes. Well, Alejandro, could I ask you to just make the notes for the agenda? Well, sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah,
No
I've been taking small notes for everything and who's been speaking. So I just took down
Okay.
who's everyone who's present, but I need to make sure that we have all of the exec committee members.
No, that's fine. For the attendance, if you just note, for attendance, just note myself, note Warren, note Fran, note yourself, and note Ms. Williams as present for the executive committee. And for committee chairs in attendance, please note Ms. Moses, Ms. Martinez, Mr. Booms, Mr. Lindberger, Mr. Lasana as present for committee chairs.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the other thing, I'm going to call out the agenda. If you could just make a note of the items, and I'll just need you to forward that to the district office when you have a chance. Can you do that? Only because it's harder for me to.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we're gonna set the agenda right now.
Okay.
So it's going to begin with call. Yeah. So call to order. Next, we're going to read rules of conduct. Then after that is going to be presentation. And then we're going to have license applications. Mia, how many applications do we currently have?
There are 4 that are complete and ready to be reviewed.
Okay, so just make a note for liquor license applications. And Mia will put those in as part of the agenda. Okay. After that, then we have public commentary. And that lasts for 30 minutes. After that, we have acknowledgements. And that concludes that first section right there is the public session. All right, and then the next session is the business session. And for the business session, we will have the roll call. We will have committee reports. Then we will have the chairman. Mia, do you want to give an administrative report?
Sure, if you like.
Yeah, if we could give if we could give a district office report.
Okay.
I think committee reports, the district office report. Then after that, a chairman's report. And then we'll have voting items. Then we'll have old business. And then new business. And then we'll have, then we'll call for adjournment. All right. Are there any recommended changes to the agenda as I've stated?
Are there any minutes to be voted on?
Thank you, actually.
Yes.
Mia, do we have any minutes from the June meeting?
I believe so. I have to get them from the office and format them.
I also
Okay.
need to submit for.
Or give them, I can pass the information to Alejandra if you like, or if you have time. I'll
Yeah.
be in touch. Yeah.
And I have to
All right.
submit for meeting minutes from the district manager search committee meetings.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, those minutes are okay. Yeah, just submit those to the office. The only minutes that we would need to approve is the board or the board minutes, any board minutes. So for this executive committee, if you could submit that. No, actually, we don't need to submit the executive committee. Yeah, if there's any minutes from the June meeting, I think that's all we really need to approve right now. Anything we do have access to. Okay. Are there any other additions to be made to and thank you again for that, Carmen. Are there any other additions to the agenda that's been stated?
Mr. Chair, would you want to submit the search committee's minutes to the board members? I'm just asking because sometimes people will say, what happened to this search? You always ask for this, especially that committee, the search committee minutes. Would it be important to
Absolutely.
send it to them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead, Alan.
No, I fully plan on having them done. I mean, there's barely any public session going on anyways. It's really just a brief intro discussion for about 5 minutes, and then we go right into executive session. And then we do a report out at the end of executive session. So really the minutes are just gonna detail the exact numbers for each candidate number and their score.
Okay. So, and that's fair. So listen, so even though they're sparse, I mean, to the point that the second vice chair has made, still send those to the board so that way they have whatever the status currently is and whatever work you've already done. And I'm happy that that was mentioned, and that's going to be the expectation for all the chairs as well. Please have your minutes done within 2 to 3 days, business days after the completion of the meeting, because we want to make sure everything is forwarded out to the board in advance. So when we actually get to the committee, to the board meetings, if you have action items or things that really you need to prep the board for, absolutely, you can get a couple of minutes just to kind of go through your, to explain, give a committee report. Otherwise, your committee report is what it says. It is what it says, the board is informed, and we move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Alejandro, so just for that clarity. So yeah, whatever report, we do have, so just providing an update to the board, absolutely. If you can get that, so that way we can get that out to the board, they'll have that in advance. I mean, if you would like to speak to it, absolutely, we'll give you a couple of minutes. Otherwise, your report is your report, and it'll just stand as that.
I would definitely like to have a few minutes to explain the process so that folks can fully understand what's going on.
Fair enough. That's fine. Okay. Okay, so I'll call for the last one. So is there any other changes that we need to make or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as stated.
So made.
Motion.
Second.
All right. I see a motion by Warren Burke. I see a second by, well, actually, it has to be from an executive committee member. It has to be an executive.
Second.
All right, so I have a second from Ms. Leopold. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed? Any abstentions? No abstentions. Please let the record show that the agenda was adopted by unanimous consent of the executive committee. All right, and with that being said, I think we have reached the end. Well, actually, I apologize. Is there any other business that we need to consider for, as an executive committee?
I believe Ms. Pinkerton wanted to make some brief remarks. Ms. Pinkerton?
Thank you very much for reminding me. I'm sorry, Ms. Pinkerton, please, you have the floor.
Yeah, hi. I hope I'm not speaking too loud. So my concern was for my neighborhood, especially my block. And if you don't have an answer this week, going forward, just keep me in mind. And if something comes up that you know about, let me know. But for over a year, and more particularly for the last 8 months, on our block, we have probably any given night 8 to 10 youths, like usually around 17 male, friends, hang out in front of an apartment building. And, like we were all there, they hang out and they do whatever they do. I'm not certain of the affiliations that they have, but they're certainly not working and they're not going to school. Some residents have expressed concern, not necessarily for themselves, but for other younger kids on the block, especially the boys that are on the block that are younger. And they wanted to know if there was anything that can be done. I don't think the police and even the neighborhood outreach is an option, but I just wanted to know if anybody knows of a organization that does proactive outreach for young men in the neighborhood. It really is clear. And again, I know that they have to step up and they have to engage themselves, but it's clear that they need something. They need some engagement. And I don't know if there's anything for this. Again, they're not younger kids. They're not 12, they're not 13, they're probably 17 or more. So I'm just hoping that there's some place that you might know of, an organization that would do proactive outreach. And if you do, just let me know. And I can do the outreach, or you can do it from, my block is Montgomery between Rogers and Nostrand. And they don't live on our block. They congregate in front of a particular building. They probably know somebody in that building, but that's not entirely clear as well. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Appreciate that. You know what? If we could, let's have a conversation offline as well, because I definitely want to make sure that we understand the situation and probably have a couple of follow-up questions. And I think we might have some resources even right here between youth. I mean, it might be a combination of youth services, if there's any resources we can bring to bear with that, or even engagement with neighbors, or just kind of figuring out, what the situation is and how best to entertain. And I agree. It's like, I don't want to necessarily say just call the cops right on, as the first knee-jerk reaction. But let's kind of see if we can flesh it out to see what we need to do and what can be done.
I think that would be something that youth services, our committee, would really look into as the resources for young people.
Yep, we'd be happy to look into it. Amy, maybe you want to connect with myself and Matthias offline, and we can learn a little bit more about your situation and try to dig up some resources and connect you to some people that may be helpful.
Okay, and thank you very much for that, Primo, and Matthias. I really appreciate that right off the bat. And please let me know if there's anything we can do to help support that as well. If you need anything from me as chair, or if the district office needs, to make any connections as well. right. All right. Were there any other questions? Any other business?
I have one public service announcement.
Please.
I just wanted to offer Alejandra any assistance in enunciating the roll call. Okay, if she needs it, I'm available.
God
No,
help.
please
Warren,
don't.
Warren said he has her
No,
back.
please don't. Don't be slow to mention his name.
Trying to walk the plank, Warren.
I've been here for 3 years. Just
In
saying
20
that.
years, you haven't learned to say Kanina's name.
That's true. But it doesn't, it's not that I didn't try, okay?
Thank you
Well,
for your service, Warner.
I just, thank you. I just had this epiphany today that I'm no longer going to be made fun of.
We need to get you a plaque for the last 3 years. You know?
And
With everything misspelled.
WAEN.
All right. With that being said,
He don't know how to pronounce Dick's name yet. Rashida, what? What's Rashida's last name?
Sadiq.
wow, hold on.
Yeah, you get it now. Wow, wow.
Wow.
No, he knows her, but he never says Kanina. It's Chanina, Chanina.
No. I can't say that. That's why I say Rabbi. I have disabilities. Just acknowledge it. You know?
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, with that being said,
One moment. I see Mr. Almanor is here. He has he's had his hand up.
I'm sorry, Ms. Almore, please.
Yes,
You
I
have the
wanted,
floor.
somebody was asking for an organization to reach out to these young men. The Conrad Youth Collective, Richard Green. Can do that kind of work, okay? I know I'm going back 20 years, so.
And Dr. Green's probably an excellent resource to that as well. Thank you for bringing that up. Really appreciate that.
Okay.
Excellent suggestion. Okay. All right. And with that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Moved by Warren Burke, seconded by Francisca Leopold. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes carried. We are now adjourned. Time is now 8:25 p.m. Everyone,
What a
I want to
wonderful
thank you so
meeting.
much.
Have a
Listen,
good evening, everybody.
I'm really excited about this board.
Great meeting.
We're never leaving Zoom again. I think this is great. And we're continued success. I think we're on the right trajectory. We're just going to keep working. I appreciate all of you. Thank you all in advance. Everyone, stay safe. Have a good night. Okay, and the best to you and your loved ones.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Get home safe, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night.
Such a long way to go.
Good night, everybody.
Good
I would
night.
say enjoy your dinner, but I know Warren already enjoyed his.
I didn't offer anybody anything, not a taste, nothing.
Okay. Okay, Warren, we'll see how we do.
Wait. Have you looked outside your door?
Next time you better bring everybody a plate.
That's it.
It's okay. I have like a whole closet of tuna fish, so I'm good.
Warren is not invited to the cookout.
How are you feeling, Miss Williams?
Say good night.
Good night,
everyone.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Miss Williams.
She's muted.
Yeah, you realize that she's muted.
She's muted.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Francesca, what's going on with that lighting? Is this like Studio 54 Crown
Oh
Heights?
God, I'm out.
It's very Godfather.
Now you
Godmother.
All right. Have a good night. Good night. Good night, Disco Francesca. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
night, all.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Khalid.
Good night. I don't know if you can hear me, but good night.
Good night. I see you crying, but it's okay.
You see me cry. It's just a picture. All right, friend. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.